Lincenergy has completed its GTL demonstration plant and now produce diesel. It's not only an Australian first, but it's a world first. It's something the company and its shareholders have strived for the last 2.5 years, and to achieve it in that time frame, even though at times a challenging and frustrating time, it's an amazing outcome, not just for the company, but for the community, the population at large, and of course our shareholders. This takes Link to the point that we can now take stranded coal, gasify it, and turn it into clean fuel in pretty much any place in the world. To give you an idea, Australia consumes something less than 1 million barrels of oil a day. It is not inconceivable that Lincenergy in the near term could start to produce a large portion of that. And indeed, in the longer term, over the next decade or so, we can in fact replace all of it, at least in terms of diesel and jet fuel and probably some other primary lubricants. That sets Australia and our children's future, and indeed probably that coming generation's future, up for security, energy security. It's an enormous achievement that the team at Link have done, and I want to personally thank everyone for their efforts. It has been a huge effort, and I'm sure everybody appreciates that effort. I certainly do. The significance of what we've achieved cannot be underestimated. Not just Australia, but of course North America, Asia, Western Europe, parts of Eastern Europe. The world, which is coal-rich and oil-hungry, every one of those, just about every one of those, have got significant issues in terms of both energy security, in terms of how they get their oil, mostly in terms of Australia. A lot of our oil is now imported from overseas. From North America's perspective, over 60% is now imported from overseas, and a good part of that's coming from the Middle East. Western Europe, I think it's worse. The North Sea's running out, Bass Strait's running out, both Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico is running out, and the list goes on. Most countries and most of those older oil-producing regions have peaked or are peaking in the near future. The reality is the world needs, and not just the world, but those particular countries need an alternative. And what Link has achieved over these last months and years has now created a genuine alternative, a real ability to be able to produce liquid fuels from coal pretty much anywhere in the world, and that's an outstanding outcome. From here, obviously, we've now produced a demonstration facility. It's not just a demonstration plant. It's not a pilot plant. It is a large-scale plant, as you will see. From here, we now need to go to commercial, and that's our aim. A 20,000 barrel facility made up of 3 modules. It will take the company through to a significant step in its growth of being able to not only produce a lot of fuel, but obviously our cash flow revenue will go up considerably. That step will take about 36 months from where we are today. It's about 12 months of government liaison and work we need with our environmental impact statements and various approvals, and there's about 2 years worth of construction. That said, in 36 months' time, Lincenergy will have the first commercial underground coal gasification to liquids facility operating, and it will be one of many in Australia and in other places. The ability to replicate chinchilla is significant. The chinchilla is the first step of what is a significant plan for Link. We will be starting, obviously, in Australia, but the opportunity is in the immediate generation is nearly endless. There is significant coal resources throughout Australia, significant coal resources throughout North America, Asia, parts of Eastern and Western Europe, which will suit exactly what we want to do. The ability to start a model operation in chinchilla or Australia, for that matter, anywhere, and copy that, cookie cutter that model effectively anyway throughout a dozen different sites is in fact our business plan. The beauty about what we've achieved here is not just the ability to turn coal into liquids, it's the fact that we're doing it in such a environmentally friendly and manner. One of the driving forces when I first started Link was that we had to be part of the solution, not the problem. And part of the solution is that we do it in a greenhouse-friendly manner. We do that by producing the cleanest diesel in the world in what is probably one of the cleanest processes in the world in terms of gasification and Fischer Tropsch. The diesel we produce is zero sulphur, ultra low NOx, virtually no particulates. You put it in a bus and truck, you'll get no smoke. The low CO2 footprint. It is an amazing fuel and one that will be very well sought after. One of the things that galvanises us as a significant company on the Australian Stock Exchange, and indeed we are cementing our place on the world stage, is the fact that we are drilling and delivering on our promise of large coal reserves. On the back of those large coal reserves, we've fulfilled our promise of gasification through UCG. And on the back of that, we've now fulfilled our promise of taking UCG gas and turning it into liquid fuels through the gas to liquids plant at Chinchilla. That said, that's great as a business plan, but what makes Link more real than ever is the fact that we've sold one of our coal assets in northern Queensland at Emerald for $1.5 billion. Cashing up Link's balance sheet to the point now that it can afford to do its commercial operations without the need of having to go to the markets or borrow money. If we do, and we're in a very strong position to be able to do it. And in this time of uncertainty, it's very, very good to know that this Link is in a very certain place. With all that said, I just want to thank you as shareholders and stakeholders and team members for being here on this journey. This is an outstanding achievement from everybody who first invested in Link. Don't underestimate the fact that you spotted something special in a small company a couple of years ago that others didn't, and you stayed with that to the point that we've now fulfilled on that promise. The fact that you supported us early is one of the reasons why we are successful today. The fact that our team members and our staff members have faith in me and what I do, and then what the engineering team does and what the people on the ground do, and so on and so forth, that faith has created what is an extraordinary organisation today. A young organisation, but a very special one. And then, of course, all those stakeholders, everyone from our neighbours to government that assist us on our journey. And, of course, our larger shareholders that have shown faith throughout the period. Everybody that has been part of this journey should well and truly have a smile on their face at this moment. This is truly a special moment, a special day, and I thank you so much for being there not just for this moment, for the whole journey. Thank you very much, and I look forward to being able to bring you the next exciting stage of what Link is up to.